Hello friends, I welcome you all on this online program. I'm very glad to see you through this video class, online class. But at the same time, we are we are passing through a very pathetic situation, but nothing to worry. The growing tensions of the pandemic COVID-19, there are many people who have been suffering a lot due to retrenchment, homelessness, and other social problems. Children are to walk miles together. They are just shuttling between the destinations, their workplace and their homes. They are away, so everybody is disturbed in one way or the other. This is the reality of the current situation. But whatever it is, whatever is destined will happen. Though we are there, we have to understand one thing clearly, that the purpose of this online class is that the students should not be affected anyway. So there are endeavors taken by our college, the higher authorities, the authorities concerned of our college. So we are conducting this online class so that you could have a touch, and of course the technical way of teaching is sometimes interesting. At the same time, it is very interesting and zealous. Of course, there may be some problems in the network or the remote areas. The students studying from remote areas may not have proper connections or tower like that. But anyway, we are here to discuss the classes, the topics that have been away from us for some months. Today, as a teacher, I am going to tell you the important things that make us understand what is philosophy and education. My topic of today's class is philosophy and education. Firstly, I like to focus philosophy because what I have come to understand during the course of my teaching, that most of the students, they have not understood what is philosophy. They know in Tamil, okay, but they don't know what is the actual term, what's the actual meaning of philosophy, and what is the use of philosophy in our life. Because philosophy and education are the two dimensions of life, of human life. An educated person should have education. We know that educated person should have education. A literate person should know to write and read. This is literature, and a literary person or educated person, that is different. But the question is, most of the people, I mean the educated people does not have philosophy, but philosophical people do not need education. That is the difference. in easy term, education needs philosophy, but philosophy does not need education, because there are many scholars, many philosophers who have a different outlook, their own outlook towards life, and they have shared this, their outlook, their viewpoints to the students, to the disciples. Philosophy is nothing but knowledge. In short, philosophy means knowledge. And what does education give? Knowledge. So, philosophy and education are not different. Both are same, and both give knowledge, or both can be acquired, can be got through knowledge. So, what is knowledge? Knowledge is God's gift, first of all, and we should know. Let me tell you something philosophically, then I will go to the topic. Every bird, every animal, even creatures, all creatures, from the ant to the elephant, they have their own knowledge, everybody. You know, when I was once I was watching a Discovery Channel, I was watching the herds of elephants moving from one place to another. The commentator was saying that elephant know where is water available under the ground. It's very interesting thing. I was astonished to see that. I was so interested to. Then I came to know that elephants have the knowledge to find out water underground without any instrument, because we don't know where water is available. We have to use the borings and other sources to fetch water. Elephants have the knowledge. So let me ask you, who taught them? Who taught elephants to find water? How do they find water? They have knowledge, but as the best of creatures, we people too have knowledge, but we need instruments. We need required materials, tools to find out the availability of water underground. Birds build nests. When you see the structure of the nest, we are surprised. Who gave them this knowledge? So when we observe things, when we observe the objects, we understand that every living creature is knowledgeable. That is why some students ask me, sir, how to speak English? I don't have English knowledge. I don't believe it. I used to tell them, don't say don't have knowledge. Say that you have not tried to speak. Because God has never created people without knowledge. All creatures are worthy of something in one way or the other. It is different that we have not understood our worthiness. Dear students, knowledge is God's gift, and everybody has it. This is very important, because everybody is created by God. Everybody has knowledge. Even ants have knowledge. Ants, insects, bees, birds, beasts, everybody. So knowledge is God's gift, and God has given this to everybody. This is philosophy. But elephants have knowledge of the availability of water. but they are not educated. I think you have got the point. Knowledge is a common thing, and education comes from books. So in that sense, philosophy is also a knowledge that comes from experience, not from books. That is why I say a person who has philosophy does not need to be an educated person. He might be a great philosopher without education, without diplomas or degrees, without any credentials. Whereas an educated person must to have philosophy, otherwise it will be a black spot on his education. So how do we find water underground? Through knowledge. How we got the knowledge? Through education. The geologists, geology. You have to study geology, and then you have to find what to do. When the geology means the education, they study related to earth. Geo means geography. So the education is philosophy, and philosophy is education. We cannot differentiate these things. That is very clear. So how to be a philosophical person? For example, I am a teacher. I have some amount of knowledge to the best of my ability, to best of my container that I have. So how can I be a philosopher? That is a challenging job. To become a philosopher, I have become a teacher because I have studied books, I have written stories, novels, and I have taught a number of students. I have good years of experience in teaching, so I am a teacher. So how can I become a philosopher? Through books? No. Through experience. Experience is required to be a philosophical person, to understand the philosophy of life. For example, Shakespeare. You might have heard about Shakespeare. He was not very much educated person. He was a school dropout, and when he was sometimes a teacher, when he was 14 years, Stratford upon he taught. He worked in a basic grammar school. Something. This name of the school is there in Stratford upon Avon, in England. He was a teacher. He helped for some time. He was a teacher. But when he came to London, he had some challenging jobs before him. There were some people who were educated from the universities, like Philip Sidney, Robert Greene, like that. Some people are there. Seven university which they call, because I am not going deeper because that is not our subject. That is literature. That is English literature. I don't want to confuse you. So coming back to the point of, coming back to my point, it is necessary to give you some glimpses of philosophy. So Shakespeare was not an educated person, but he wrote poetry, he wrote drama, he was a great playwright. He won the hearts of people that the even educated people, the degree holders of his days, could not. How was it possible? There were educated people from renowned universities. They were living in the age of Shakespeare. They were also playwrights. They wrote dramas, they wrote poems, stories, novels, but they did not become like Shakespeare, because Shakespeare had philosophy of life. So that made him a famous person. Now I come to the point. Sir, just tell me, you may ask a question, sir, which is important, sir? Philosophy or education? I would say both are important. But philosophy is God's gifted, whereas education is left upon a person's efforts. For example, a baby is born, she starts crying. Who told him to cry? How does she know that? How does she know to cry? After some time, she speaks, she observes, she walks. She does not take, when she takes the first step of her life, she doesn't take the back step. She moves ahead. She takes steps forward, ahead steps. Why? She is a baby. She does not know what is good and bad. But how she walks perfectly, how she creeps, who told her? Parents never teach a child to creep, to walk. The child stands up herself. Yeah, of course, we support it, lest it might fall down. So the baby has philosophical knowledge. Baby has the knowledge given by God, not given by parents. And the baby grows, goes to school, studies, memorizes the rhymes, poetry, poem. She writes, reads, she gets degree, BA, MA, like that. Now this is education, not philosophy. I think you have got the point. Philosophy is also knowledge, and education gives knowledge. Philosophy itself is a knowledge, and education gives knowledge. Let me make it more easier for you. Philosophy is knowledge, education is also knowledge, but philosophy does not need education, but education needs philosophy. This is the thing we have to understand. There are voluminous of books about philosophy. There are many types of philosophy in different eras. The term philosophy refers to any body of knowledge. It is related to religious philosophy, then mathematical philosophy, education, politics. Philosophy is there. Knowledge. If I want to be a religious person, I must understand and read the doctrines of that philosophy. If I want to give a sermon to someone, I should have knowledge about it. I should read books. I am an English teacher. I have knowledge of grammar. I can teach you. If you ask me, sir, give me write down the mathematical formulas, I can't write, because that is not concerned to my field. But if you ask me, sir, you are a professor, you don't know maths, and the question is, I have knowledge of literature, not knowledge of maths. That means I know the philosophy of English literature, not the philosophy of maths. So the branches are different. Philosophy is different according to the different fields, religious, politics, and like that. Science, natural science. Okay. Next. The study of goodness, natural philosophy, moral philosophy, metaphysical philosophy. These are the 3 points I would like to discuss today, and I won't take much of the time, because you need to watch this video, you have to comment it, and you have to ask me question. That is important. That is the purpose. It's not a formality to take class and you just listen. You have to listen because to acquire knowledge. You can't cheat yourself. Though I am not watching you from that side, but you watch your conscience. Your conscience is watching you. So, dear students, natural philosophy. I am going to talk natural philosophy, moral philosophy and metaphysical philosophy. Natural philosophy, we know, this depends, it is about the process of transformation of physical world. Natural philosophy means the knowledge of the world, the study of constitution, how the world came into existence, what is there in the moon, how days and nights convert, when does it rain. These are things natural philosophy. Natural philosophy means knowledge about nature. Next is moral philosophy. This is very, very important. As teacher, as student, it's important for me. Yeah, of course, philosophy is important to all. Specifically, moral philosophy is very, very important because this is related to our characters, our soft skills, behaviors. Because moral philosophy highlights the study of goodness, good qualities of a person. All people are same, God created by God, but all don't have same characters. Everybody is different in his or her character. Depends upon his or her moral philosophy. Moral means characters, morality, characters. How a person has understood himself or others. Understanding self, understanding others is very important to be with morality. If Mushtaque sir is a good person, how I am a good person? If I just remain in my room, I don't talk to anybody, I don't go outside, I don't chat with others, I don't share, I don't care. So what will say about me? Nobody will say about me because nobody does know about me. It is essential that I should talk, I should speak, I should have meetings, I should talk, I should deal, I should behave. These things comprise my character, my morality. So my moral depends upon my behavior. This is philosophy, moral philosophy. Understanding or having the knowledge of character, having the knowledge of good and bad, having the knowledge of right and wrong, which is right, which is wrong, why it is wrong, why it is right. So this is the moral philosophy. And justice and virtue. Justice, you know what is the meaning of justice? You would have heard the proverb, famous saying, justice delayed is justice denied. Justice needs philosophy. If if two students come to me, they ask me, they are complaining each other, sir, he has done this, so I cannot judge unless I understand their moral, unless I understand their manners, their behaviors. As a teacher, I should observe both are my students, but I can't decide if a person is crying and a student is not crying, he is just watching. A student is crying, so I cannot give judgment in the person who is crying, his favor, because he is crying. No, I have to observe the characters, what happened, why it is happening, why he is crying and why he is silent. I have to judge. I can give judgment or I can do justice to both of them, unless and otherwise I have the moral philosophy. I should know which is good, which is bad. I should have the knowledge of this. Next is justice and virtue, characters, good characters, manners. I should understand my manners and I should understand the manners of others. Habitually, some students ask me, sir, why don't you get angry? Sometimes during the beginning days of my service as a teacher in Islamiah college, in our college. Now, after some days, after some years, when the years passed by, due to the age factor, I'm just sometimes I'm tensed. I get angry sometimes. But during the prime days, the students used to ask me, sir, you don't get angry. Students who used to disturb while I teach, but I always took very easily, because I understood that they are students, they are enjoying. If I shout, they will be silent, but they will be silent for me, not for themselves. So I would ask them some questions and I will tell them, then later that I will speak to them after hours and make them understand what they did. So this, I could do this because by the grace of God, I had the philosophy, I have understood the moral philosophy. Next, goodness. Moral philosophy means study of goodness. If a person is misbehaving with me, habitually I will be angry, because why he is doing like this. For example, during the course of my class, if a student is talking and laughing, I will get angry because he is not observing my class. I am not angry because he is laughing. I am angry because he is not attentive. So I asked him, stand up. Yes, he says, why you are laughing? He says some reason. I can say get out, I can mark him absent, or I can give him some other punishment. This is common thing. But understanding goodness, what I do, I try to understand why he is not attentive. Seriously, when a student is not attentive in the class, I don't blame him, because I think that my teaching is not effective. This is the reality, and nobody can deny this. Once I asked one of my HODs, old HOD, he is retired. He is retired now. I asked him, sir, nobody is there in the class. And he said, no, don't say. You may be late to the class, or you may not have taken effectively. Yeah, he was right, maybe, because students are not in the class means my teaching is not good. This is the fact, and I must understand this. I am not talking to all. It's my philosophy, my outlook. I feel sad about it. Why students are not in the class? I think my class is not very much effective. Then I should do something better. I can't punish them. If I am serious, they will be in the class next time. Yeah, but what for? Attendance purpose. No, I don't want to punish them, because I understand the goodness. I am just giving example. Don't think that I am a good person, or I just want to say that I am a good person. No, I am just speaking about the topic. Moral philosophy means understanding goodness. I understand the good quality of students. That is why students like me, by the grace of God, because I understand them. Once I was taking class, a person was in our college. He was sleeping. When I saw, I did not say anything. I asked him, please, what happened? Sir, I am suffering from a headache. I asked him, did you take breakfast? No, sir. He was feeling feverish like that. I said, okay, please go, have some time, go to canteen, have some tea. Do you have money? Yes, sir. Okay, go, take rest. If you want, no, sir. He had some hesitation. I said, no, I am not angry. Please, I request you, if you are okay, you can say it, otherwise you can go. Miss, he went out. After some time, he came back. He was feeling free because he had something to eat. He refreshed himself and came back. He was very good because I understood the goodness of a student. Everybody, if a person is bad, we can't label him as a bad person. We have to understand why he is bad. If a dog barks at me, I should say why he is barking. That means I am looking like a thief to him. That is why he is barking. I am not a thief. I can't just take a stone and I blame the dog. How dare it barks at me. My appearance, there is something wrong in me that makes him bark. So friends, moral philosophy means understanding goodness, understanding which is good, which is bad. Third one is metaphysical philosophy. Here, metaphysical means the study of existence, is study of something, presence of something, study of, for example, logical reasons, existential, what do you say, philosophy, existential philosophy, existence of people, existence of things, and other abstract objects. Other abstract means, if a person says, I am having headache, I am suffering from headache, I say, okay, where? Sir, I am suffering from headache means, come on, show me the headache. He can show his head, not the ache, because that is abstract. I should understand that he is having headache. He may be telling lie. I don't know. But I should understand he is having headache. Okay, please go. Have some rest. Have some sleep. So, philosophy of existence is called metaphysics. Philosophy. I mean, meta means after philosophy, after physics. Metaphysics means after physics. That is, beyond physics, beyond the appearance, beyond the visual. We are not seeing it, but we feel it. Metaphysics. But that we cannot say that is supernatural, no. Yeah, supernatural maybe, metaphysics, but there is some slight difference. In short, as a student, I am not talking about literature, because in literature we have supernaturalism, talking about ghosts, the things that are. First thing is, you have to understand that philosophy is nothing but knowledge, and education is a part of philosophy, and two things have to be together. Then only we can be successful people in life and like to be others and like others. We will like others. We will love and we will be loved. We will help and we will be helped. So we understand and we will be understood. There will be a successful way of life only when we have philosophy and education together. So my dear students and friends, I hope you would have understood this class, and if you have any doubt, please feel free to comment and ask your doubts. Be attentive, tell your friends to join the class. Hope to see you again. Take care. Bye.